I think that's pretty much my piece on it. I will go ahead and shoot it over to Godless Engineer, and we'll see what he has to say about Suzanne Atanas.
Yes, Suzanne Atanas. I don't know if you guys remember Suzanne Atanas, but Suzanne Atanas was the lovely politician that looks a lot like Danny DeVito. and she actually thinks that God is punishing America and the human race in general for supporting homosexual marriage or marriage equality.
Wait, John, just real quick, I'm sorry. Is that the lady from Chicago? Just a quick.
Yes.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah. She thinks that God is punishing the human race for supporting marriage equality by giving us autism and bad weather and all of these things. And she does it citing verses from the Bible. She uses the Bible to support these claims. And even though in the interview that I'm referring to, the people on the board are sitting there like, and you think that God is actually doing this? Even though they're talking to her like she's insane, she's not that much different than most of the other Republican politicians out there. Because they have these really wild ideas of what science is or what science says, and then they try to use these archaic notions about our reality, and then they try to insert them into modern society. Like Prototype mentioned Ted Cruz being on the science board. I don't know if you really realize how scary that is. This man has been in the news so many times for saying so many stupid things about science, yet he is made like head of this science board in our politics. He is actually going to be making fucking scientific decisions for our country. And this is a man that denies climate change in the face of substantial evidence. Now, you might want to think that these people are outliers or that they're not part of the general population. While their extreme views may be kind of outlandish and in the outliers, a good portion of the political body is made of these people that hold God at the highest, at the highest peak of not morality, but of respect. And they want to use what is in the Bible to make our laws for this country. And if that doesn't scare you, it should. Because they're falsifying history. In Texas, they want to write down in the history books that Moses was the first American. Can you imagine what that means? They want to totally rewrite history and say, oh, yep, Moses, that guy, that fucker that parted the Red Sea, which couldn't really happen scientifically at all, not to mention the fact that there's no evidence for Jews being in Egypt whatsoever. Yeah, he was the first American ever. See, this is the kind of thing that we're going against when we have people like this in these positions. Now, I want to be clear, and I don't want to paint with a broad brush, that not all Republicans think this way. While I disagree with Republican positions on things, I don't think that all Republicans are this insane. But the pure fact that people like Suzanne Atanas were actually allowed to run in these elections is just fucking sad. The fact that Ted Cruz is actually being put at the head of a science committee is sad. We don't need these people in political office, yet they are in political office. They are in positions where they can get elected into positions of power, where they can legislate these things, like where they can legislate that preventing autism is a good reason to prevent people from getting married. They could possibly legislate these things, and using a book that was written 2,000 years ago from multiple anonymous authors, that was basically a plagiarized book full of lies, is not a way to base a society on. Yet these people want to take this book and take it at face value and actually create laws and use rationality based on it in order to shape our lives for the future. And that is the power that religion has, and it can exert itself on our society. Because if you were to take religion away from these people, yeah, sure, they would still have these crazy ideas. This woman would think that something else was causing autism, or that us supporting marriage equality was causing autism in some way. But we would be able to really recognize her as the batshit crazy woman that she is. We would tell her to go back to Hollywood and keep impersonating Danny DeVito on the sidewalk. We wouldn't be giving her a position of power where she could actually legislate laws, and we would be it would be easier for us to determine that she is actually batshit crazy, instead of us making concessions because she believes, like, she's got this deeply held belief. It's just ridiculous that a deeply held belief is actually given any kind of credence in our society. So I encourage you that if you see any of these Republicans or anybody in general, even Democrats, even independents, whoever, if they try to use the Bible, which I know society already does this already, but I just want to reiterate that you really need to post this on social media, or whenever you hear about it, you really need to re-emphasize how ridiculous these things are, how ridiculous it is to think that God is punishing us with autism for supporting marriage equality. We need to criticize these ideas. And I know in my little rant here, I've kind of criticized Susanna Tannis on her looks and whatnot like that, but that was more for comedic effort. What I'm really criticizing is her whole idea. It's the whole idea of the crazy Republican that's using the Bible and these crazy notions and the threat that it poses on our society, because these types of people are in positions where they can make laws. So that was kind of my 2 cents, so I'll hand it off to, I guess, Prototype again.
Yeah, I'll take that over here. Luckily, Suzanne Atanas did not win her election bid, but she did come out with, I think, somewhere in the mid 30% as far as votes. I think she was like 36, 37% of the vote. So, it's not like she had no chance at all. She got a lot of support, and that's kind of the problem, that many people, and, obviously there's pockets of the country where you have a better chance of getting people to vote for somebody like that. But yeah, that many people would support a candidate that has said such outlandish things like that, and actually probably agree with her on a lot of it, is really nuts. And like you said, these religious ideas, if it wasn't religion, if they didn't have this taboo or this special treatment for religion, these ideas would just be roundly criticized, and these people would just be laughed out of politics. But that's not what happens here. If we were like an Islamic country, somebody might say, oh, we're being punished for letting women wear bikinis or something like that. And it's just, it's whatever their dogma is. They try to play it to their advantage for, to gain power and to gain influence, basically. And so it is pretty ridiculous.
Hi, I am the Godless Engineer. You can find me on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, all of those lovely, nice socializing places. Do go on there and find me, talk to me. I love conversation. And I have several groups on Facebook that I encourage you to join and join in on the conversation.
Again, I am Prototype Atheist. You can find me on Facebook, on Twitter, and you can find me on YouTube. I try to put out a video about once a week. And of course, we do this Reason panel every Sunday night at 9 p.m. Eastern.